Hey, what's going on guys? It's me, Aiden from Cartoon Apocalypse, and today I'm bringing you guys some pretty exciting DuckTales news. So pretty much yesterday, there was a new DuckTales promo that released, and it is an entire minute long. And let me just tell you guys, we see a whole bunch of new clips in here that we have never seen before. But before we do anything, I'm just gonna play the promo so that you guys can see it. So let's go ahead and watch it.
Do you yearn for buried treasure? Yeah! Like to explore mysterious places?
The answers are right through there!
Hang out with mythical beings?
The king of the gods! Get out!
Ah!
Then you probably have Adventuritis!
What the blazes is that?
And Disney Channel has the cure, DuckTales! Every day in May, we've got your daily dose. Surprise!
Onward to adventure!
To cure your Adventuritis.
This radar is an ant farm?
Nothing to worry about.
Sorry, what?
And if you like cute ponies,
Talking animals wearing clothes! That's correct!
we've got the cure for that too.
I didn't see that coming.
Kick your Adventuritis in the... with DuckTales, every day in May. Starts Tuesday, May 1st at 8 on Disney Channel.
Trust me, you'll love it.
Now that you've seen the promo, you guys are probably like, wow, that's a lot of information if you haven't seen it already. If you've already seen it, then you're probably just here for the analysis. Or you're here because it's a Cartoon Apocalypse video. Anyway, for you guys who do not know how I do things around here, I'm going to go through the clip analyzing or analyzing, because people get annoyed when I say analyzing, but I'm going to go and analyze all the clips that we do see that are new. So this first one just happens to be like 5 seconds in, for example, and then I'll just cut to the next new clip that we see. And again, I said this in like my last analysis video, I am not as familiar with DuckTales as I am as other shows. So if I like missay some things, or if the clip actually wasn't in the show and I thought it was, then please understand I've only seen the show once, and I've just been focusing on other cartoons, so I'm pretty new to the DuckTales fandom, so bear with me. So this first new clip is all of the crew. It looks like, it's really hard to see because it's a very far out shot, but it looks like the 3 twins, maybe Webby, and it kind of looks like Glomgold is actually up in the front there. Now, I don't know if this is him or not. It just looks like him because he's hunched over and he's a bigger character. So it could be him, could not be. Again, we cannot really tell with this far out of an angle shot who's exactly in the shot. But it also kind of looks like Launchpad's there. Not exactly too sure though. And then it does look like there's some like lion or panther like statues in the background. We can see 2 of them. And they're walking on a hill up to the top, so we could see a big long pathway leading up to it. So I don't know what to expect from this clip. All we can expect is that they're going to whatever's on the top of the mountain. So this next clip is just the clip right after it, and this clip is probably one of the ones that could have been in the show, but I just don't think it has been. And it's Webby saying the answers are hidden right through there, or something similar to that. So it looks like that Webby is standing on like a little model of something. So it looks like a model of a town, and maybe they're going to a town. Maybe that thing up on top of that mountain thing was a town that they were going to. Not exactly too sure. That's just something that could happen. So this next clip is like a character of what looks like Zeus. I think I'm saying that right. I'm not exactly too sure. Definitely a Greek mythological being, god, so it looks like that. And then the next clip just right after that, it's like just a cut. It's Huey and he's looking up at him, so this Greek god is pretty tall. Now this next clip gets me really excited, because if you look, you can see on the left there is a mysterious person that we haven't seen before. Could this be Dewey, Louie, and Huey's mom? And we do see Scrooge on the right there, and he does look to be about the same condition, but I was thinking that this was a flashback, possibly. And there's a bear, so it's like they're looking in a cave as well, so it's very interesting, and I'm just wanting to know who that other character is. Now this next clip is Dewey riding on this little like machinery thing, holding an action figure, and he's crashing through a window. So I seriously don't know what to expect from this episode. It's I don't know. It looks like just another like small little fun clip that they put in there that could just be like a humorous thing. Not exactly too sure. Now this next clip is Webby sliding down what looks like a red abyss with what looks like gold coins as the ground. Not exactly too sure if those are coins, but it just looks like it because they're circly. Now this could be a tongue of a monster because those like bumps could be taste buds, so I'm not exactly too sure. And some more evidence to support this being a monster is we can see a giant fish-like thing crashing throughout the ground and jumping out of a window, and it looks to have the same red abyss in the mouth. So I am thinking that Webby is being eaten by this thing. Now this next clip could be directly related to the last clip, or it could not, but it's Webby and Lena running away. So they could be running away from that monster, or maybe they're just running away from something else. They're also screaming, so I don't know if that says something, but it's just something to keep in mind that they're running away from something. So the next clip is just finishing what the narrator said previously, and it was Scrooge saying, "What the blazes is that?" And we do see Huey and Dewey holding like shovels, and Huey is holding a mop. So I don't exactly know what's going on in this scene, but we may have already seen it. Possibly. It could have been in the first episode. I'm not exactly too sure. I can't remember, but it's just something to keep in mind there. Now this next scene is a tree scene with some of the bad guys on a tree, and Louie is sitting up at the top with someone tied down. I can't remember. I know that the bad guys start with a B, but I can't remember exactly what they're called, like the Botchlin brothers or something. But pretty much Louie is up there and he tied them across, and it looks like he's wearing some sort of like Boy Scout badge, but it's not Boy Scouts. I can't remember what it was called, but he is wearing something like that, and I can tell that it's Louie because you could tell by the hairstyle. It could also be Huey and the hairstyle just looks different for whatever reason, but I'm almost positive that this is Louie. And this next scene is pretty interesting. So if you guys remember the video that I made a couple days ago on this DuckTales, you guys remember that there was a guy named Lin-Manuel who actually is guest starring in an episode. Well, I didn't know too much about him, and you guys told me about him in the comments, and you guys told me how to pronounce him, so thanks for all your support. And apparently he writes a bunch of music, and this scene just looks to be a musical. So it is confirming that this scene, and I mean, we'll talk about more about Lin in a minute, but it is confirming that there is a musical just because of this scene. Now this next clip, I wouldn't even call it a clip, it's like pretty much just a couple frames, and it's of light shining out of a temple, or that looks like. Now this kind of looks like the thing that's up at the top that they were running up to, or on that tower from like the first clip. So this could be that like city or tower or whatever we were seeing them run up to. And it's just in there for a couple frames, so I don't know if that means something or they just needed a couple frame clip. Not exactly too sure, but there's that in there too. Now the next clip is Webby on a monster with legs, and that's really all we can tell from this. It's not the same monster as before because the other monster I don't think had legs. Alright, so the next new clip is of that same monster that we saw of the last new clip, and it was a monster, and we could see the giant teeth. It reminds me of that thing from Star Wars, and there's the giant legs that are pointing out, and just the eyes look kind of creepy. So we now see an actual picture of the face of the monster. Actually, I'm taking back what I just said. I don't think it's the same monster. It could be, but it might not be, because this monster is actually in the water, and we can tell by like a 2-frame thing that they didn't cut out. They didn't freeze frame anything, so we actually got to see a wide shot of the monster, and the monster is in water, and we can see Dewey and Webby running away from it. So the next new scene is actually Dewey like hopping onto the wheel of a plane. Now this is very dangerous of Dewey to be doing, but I don't know. He is hopping onto the plane while it's taking off. Now the next clip is of Dewey again jumping into Scrooge's pot of gold. Now we have seen one of the triplets jump into the pot of gold and have Scrooge pull him out, but I can't remember who it was, and I don't believe it was this scene. So I'm assuming that this is a brand new scene. Now this next scene is also pretty interesting because we see another new character and Webby is jumping off of a platform or something, jumping into the air to try to chase after this, what looks like a falcon character. Now this character seems to be flying or something, and she's holding a little beaker that contains some liquid. So whether that liquid is making her fly, not exactly too sure, but Webby's kind of flying too, so maybe it's something, I don't really know. But this is pretty interesting because we see another new character. Now this next little scene is of Scrooge and the kids at a golf range. Now we will see more of these type of clips with Scrooge and at golfing pretty much, and this is just like the first one that we see, so it's pretty interesting to see that there will be like an episode devoted to golfing, and I'm assuming that we will see Glomgold here as well. Alright, so this next clip actually tricked me a little bit because I was like, oh, well, we've seen this guy before. He was in like the last or second, or he was in a couple episodes ago that we've seen. And so I was like, oh, well, I guess we've already seen this clip. But no, we actually haven't seen this clip. So we see Gyro, Scrooge, Dewey, and Mark Beaks in this clip, and what look like one of Gyro's bots who's driving a car, or maybe it's a helicopter because it's a joystick, not exactly too sure, and they're all screaming. So this clip really did trick me, and I was just like, oh, alright, I guess it's just something we've already seen. But no, we actually haven't seen this clip. So, and I did like this Mark guy, I thought he was pretty funny. And then this next clip is a pony clip. Now there's ponies, and this is the same episode as the golf one. And this also confirms that Glomgold will be here because we see him in this next shot. So that was pretty much just the entire clip. It was like a back and forth talking sequence replying to the narrator pretty much. And we pretty much just saw, hey, they're in a different dimension with what looks like relics kinda in the background and a broken cart, so they got into some trouble, and that's pretty much what we can gather in the cruise there. So now this next clip relates to a previous clip that we've seen, and it was the one where Dewey was holding his little action figure guy, and we see that action figure again and he's like hugging this thing or something, can't really tell what's going on. It looks like he's being dragged through the forest, and that's just pretty interesting to see. Like, it looks like this episode will have a lot to do with robotics, and this might be the same episode where we saw them in the car screaming. Now this next clip relates to that one musical that I mentioned about with Lin-Manuel, and I do believe that DuckTales or Disney, someone tweeted out that this character, not the duck, we can't tell who that is, but this other character is going to be the character that Lin will be voicing. And it does match up because in the musical, all of the people were dressed as pirates, and in this, it's like a pirate scene, so we can assume that this guy is Lin. So Lin is fighting this duck, whoever he is. Now this next one is Scrooge hitting a robot and his head is spinning around. Can't really tell, I think it's just another one of those filler clips to make this match 1 minute evenly, so we can't exactly gather too much information from this. And this last scene here is Scrooge saying, "Trust me, you'll love it," replying to the narrator, and this is also part of the golfing episode, so don't exactly know when the golfing episode will happen, but that's something that we could look forward to. But anyway guys, if you guys did enjoy this DuckTales analysis video on the new promo, I'm super excited for these new clips. We just have to wait like 10 more days, actually it's more like 20 days for May 8th, because that's when the first new episode comes out on Disney Channel. So I am super excited for this, and I cannot wait to see more news and stuff about it. So if you guys want to stay tuned with all the newest news, then you can go ahead and subscribe, because then you'll be notified, or you'll at least know the news, because I'll upload it as soon as I can. So yeah, I will talk to you guys later. Goodbye.
That guy at the mall with the iguana is gonna be so jealous.